Greetings, YouTube. So I'm bringing a little bit of lightness to the dark times that we're in. A judge in Texas has ruled that Abbott's um, efforts to prosecute families and investigate them for child abuse because they're actually supporting their own children's journey to gender identity that most suitably fits themselves can't be done. So the state is not allowed to uh, investigate these families for making sure their kids get the therapy that they need to become happy and healthy. Um, Now, the big issue that a lot of these people are having is that these kids, if they are, deemed through therapy and through medical assistance to need hormone blockers or hormone treatments, that this is somehow, irreversible damage. And in actuality, it isn't damage in the least. Hormone blockers will do no harm, and hormone treatments will do no harm. No one is doing surgery on kids unless it's medically necessary. And so when it comes to gender identity, no one is doing surgery on kids. I know that the conservatives will tell you otherwise. I know that Fox News will tell you otherwise, as will Abbott and all of his bigoted cronies. They'll tell you otherwise. But the bigots are wrong. The doctors aren't hacking off someone's genitals. They're not doing anything like that. They would use the word mutilation because they're ignorant fucks. Um, but the reality is that these kids who have come forward and said, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, and here's why." And the doctors and therapists have come to agree and say, maybe you should get some hormone blockers. It'll make you feel better. And if that works, so, maybe you might want to try some hormone treatment. And if that works, they discover that the kid's happier and healthier, and they don't want to kill themselves anymore. That's a net good, because prosecuting these families, investigating them, is just going to kill children. It's going to ruin lives and kill children. But because it's killing children that the conservatives don't like, they don't care. They are indifferent to the fact that there will be kids in America that will be dead because of their bigoted actions. They see that as a net benefit. That is a feature, not a bug for them. Um, and remember, to the conservative worldview, everything a kid does and says is a reflection of their parents, because a child is nothing but a mini-me. So if a child comes forward and says, my gender identity isn't what people think it is, my sexual orientation isn't what people think it is, then the conservatives think, well, that must be what the parents have told them. They cannot conceive of the fact that other people are open-minded and progressive and loving and caring. They cannot perceive that as a reality. They have the very strict authoritarian worldview, and they're convinced that everybody else has a very strict authoritarian worldview. And they cannot conceive that other people have open-minded, progressive beliefs and moral systems that let them care for others and be concerned about others and want to help others and make their journey in life easier and not harder. So screw Abbott and all of his bigoted asses that he has supporting him. Everyone who's ever voted for a GOP since 2016 has outed themselves as a bigot and a white nationalist. And we don't need to listen to them. We know what they're going to say. They're dangerous, and they're trying to kill children. So I'm really happy this judge ruled that, and I figure that this eventually will get knocked down again and again. They'll probably take it all the way to the Supreme Court, and when it gets there, then the conservatives will get their hands on this, and then more kids will die. But in the meantime, Abbott can't investigate these families, and that's a good thing. And I'm glad that a judge stopped him, and I hope that other judges join forces and keep the conservatives from killing kids.